everybody. Sam Goodman bringing you another episode of Really Fucking Scary Stories. So today is super awesome. It is super special because I have an amazing guest that is joining us today. A guest that I hope we can convince to become a full-time cast member here at Really Fucking Scary Stories. So make sure you reach out to them and say, hey, we want to have you back on all the time. But this guest is my sister, Shy Davis. So Shy and I jump into a little bit of everything. We go down several kind of rabbit holes. But the main kind of story here is Cheyenne's experience with the paranormal, and in particular, her experience with what seems to have been a run-in with something more demonic. So before we go down this rabbit hole, this story, please make sure that you subscribe to this podcast, that you share it. That stuff helps us an absolute ton, and it helps us to continue to bring you amazing content. It's also what's helping us bring you this new upcoming Haunted Road Trip series that you get to look forward to very, 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 very soon. But I will shut up. But please, please, pretty please, subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. So here we go. Here's me, Cheyenne, you, hanging out, talking about some crazy, crazy paranormal experiences. Yeah,
I was always scared of ghosts when I was little. I never saw one. Of course, Mamu, Nanny, having religious grandmas, they tell you there's no such thing as ghosts and stuff like that. But when me, Jax, and Misty started wanting to become Wiccan, we were going to be witches, and we got that Ouija board and all that shit happened, and I started seeing ghosts, that made me a believer.
That's what I was going to say. Well, and that's where I think, yeah, you kind of have to back up a little bit, because that's the first thing is that I always have to call out that hypocrisy when I see it, that people are very quick to say, don't believe in your magic, but believe in my magic book.
Right.
Because
exactly.
Because a lot of Christian crowd out there.
Right. Like, hey, this bush caught on fire out of fucking nowhere, and they parted a whole ocean. But fuck your crystals. You know?
And I gotta say that the text you sent me earlier, I had to throw this out there too, that you made Pantera broccoli and cheese soup. I got so excited. I know. I got so excited to eat broccoli cheddar soup while listening to Pantera. Like I just figured
those ghosts came and helped me make it.
I was like, we need to make Pantera broccoli cheddar soup to market that.
Ooh, I should have been wearing my Pantera shirt.
So we can just jump into some of the story if you want to. just
okay.
Go from there. So you started with the Ouija board. You mentioned the Ouija board, and that seemed to be just right out of the gate. That seems like, or it sounds like that was probably a turning point.
That was a catalyst
in your experience with things that might not be of this world, or just strange, fucked up, weird things in general.
There was this old website when me, Jackson, Misty was wanting to get into Wicca. I can't remember if it was called Stick'em or Pal Talks. They were both kind of the same. But you can go on there, and it's kind of like a chat room. It has different rooms for, this one's about football and stuff. But it was video chat, and so you'd have your moderator real big and everybody else at the bottom. Well, we would go to the paranormal one. And the guy that led it, his name was Joe. And the hours we got on there was pretty much just Joe. So we would talk to him a lot. And he was like, hey, well, I make real Ouija boards. I've seen them. I played with the ones from Walmart, but I was ignorant to them. He makes it out of willow tree wood and stuff, and he fucking stains it with raven's blood, like crow's blood. It was beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful. Dad did something with it. I don't know what. But do you remember Indian Creek Tunnel?
I do, yeah.
We used to party up there. Don't know why that looked haunted, but we decided to take it up there. And the first spirit we got, they said his name was Josh, and he had got hit by a train in that tunnel. He lived at the other end in a little house, and he died there when he was 17 or 18. And he would talk to us all the time. And we were ignorant. We kind of used like a text message system with Josh. We'd be like, what's up, bro? And stuff. And everything was fine. We'd let all our friends talk on the Ouija board and show them Josh. Then one day he's like, my name's not Josh, it's Adam. And I'm the one that killed Josh. Well, you know how you can go to like libraries and they have records of all the newspapers?
Yeah.
He told us to look up the year 1947, I think it was, or 57. We found a newspaper, a young boy named Josh. His mother said that they were out on the porch and the train was coming and he just started walking towards it, walked in front of it and killed himself.
Wow.
And we were like, okay. And then when Adam told us he was Adam now, he started getting like real hateful out of the blue and stuff. And I remember one time, I can't remember who was with us. They said it's not real. Tennille wasn't there though, but I was her best friend. I knew how many people she had said she'd slept with and stuff. And I asked him and he said a different number. When I called her, she's like, Shine, I'm not shitting you. She's like, that's true. Like, I've lied to you. That's true. And I was like, oh, okay, he's kind of real. Well, then I was dating a guy named Brad. Hated him so much. I would say that he's going to like kill him and all this stuff. And that there's a way me and him could be together, but he'll have to like tell me one day when I'm by myself. He kept wanting me to use the Ouija board by myself, and I was too scared to. And then one night, me and Misty shared that bedroom that led to the basement. Misty was asleep, and me and Jax was talking on it. And out of the blue, he was like, hey, Misty's going to get possessed. And I was like, what the fuck? I didn't want to scare her. So we told her to go in the living room, that we just didn't feel a good vibe in there. Mom was asleep in the living room. Me and Jax kept talking to him, and he was like, Gina's evil, 666. And I was joking. I was like, ha, I know my mom's evil. She woke up out of a dead sleep and like fist hitting Misty out of nowhere. And she's never done that to us, ever.
Wow.
And the next morning, she didn't even remember it. She told us it never happened, and we're lying about it and stuff. And then when I'd be sleeping, I would feel somebody playing with my hair. And it's like, you know how if your eyes are closed but somebody's shining a flashlight at you, you can see the light through your eyelids?
Right. That
would happen, and I would just get so scared, and I'd hear tapping and stuff and feeling hands down my back. So I started sleeping upstairs, and we started talking to him fewer and further between.
Right.
And every time we did, he was like mad at me and stuff. And he told me that he'll get me one day, I'll slip up, I'll not say goodbye, and he'll come for me. Luke was in, and we decided to be really morbid and go to the hospital. And I remember we were talking to him, and it had said, Sam's gonna die. And I was like, that's not fucking funny. I'm not fucking talking to you anymore. And you and Cody VD pulled in, and the second y'all did, Cody hollered out that, like, Luke, get in, the Cadillac's dying and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, maybe that was it. Then I remember about 15, 20 minutes later, Luke called. He was like, hey, can you and Jax come get us? The Cadillac broke down. And I'm like, yeah, where are y'all at? And you guys are at the turn off to Indian Creek Tunnel. Because I guess you guys were going that way to your house.
Yeah.
And that terrified me. So, we got on Pal Talk. And I was talking to Joe about everything Adam said, what he's been doing lately. And he was like, you need to tell him that you need his real name and not lie about it. And you need, like, he was going to do some type of protection spell on me. So I told Adam if he told me his real name, I'd talk to him by myself on the Ouija board. He said his name was Zulu. Or Zuzu, I mean. And I looked it up, and it said Zuzu is like a succubus and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, I told Joe what he said, and he, like, turned ghost white. He tried to keep his composure. He's like, I got to get my stuff, but get on here tomorrow and I'll do the best protection spell I can. He was actually going to come down here.
Man.
We got on Pal Talk the next day, and there's a whole bunch of people in there, and his wife was the moderator. And she was like, I woke up today, and I found Joe had hung himself.
Wow.
No history of wanting to be suicidal. He helped people through depression and stuff like that.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, I am not touching this Ouija board anymore. Jackson Misty got on it a few days later. I refused to touch it. And he said, something about Shy needs to feel the burning, and then she'll feel my burn or something. And it felt like my body was on fire. And I was wearing this little tank top that had real low back, and there was like whelps all over my back out of nowhere. And one was in the shape of a heart. Misty still has that picture. So then we decided absolutely no more. But still, especially when I would get boyfriends, that's when I'd start feeling at them. I'm trying to find this picture.
Yeah, that's what I was looking up, because when you said Zuzu, it hit me that so I'm a Zach Bagans fanboy a little bit. I like Ghost Adventures, and so it hit me. I was like, I know that's from somewhere. And so from Ghost Adventures, they had a Ouija board demon, or a demon in general, that kind of follows them around, that goes by Zozo, which was like this ancient manifestation of something similar to what you're saying.
Yeah,
that can manifest in all kinds. And I'm just totally speaking out of my ass here, because I'm not literate in most of this stuff. So I'm sure many of the folks out there that tune into this are going, dumbass, but for sure. But I just thought that was interesting, because that you could see that come through in different places, right? And it's probably some version of that same kind of core,
right, type
something.
of demon.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And he would always talk to me like, he said something about an incubus one time, which I'm not 100% sure what that is. I looked it up back then, but I can't remember right now. And the pictures I just sent you, when me and Preston first started dating, that's the first time I really had a lot of activity happen again. Those handprints on his chest now, Preston's a large man. You can see how it looks like somebody was like this on top of him, pushing him down.
Wow, those are huge hands too.
Because we measured up his hands to it, and his hands were way too small for it. Get out of here, kitties. And then one night we were laying in bed. He said, Cheyenne, quit playing with your hair. I said, I'm not. And he said, when I was laying on my side, my hair was up like this. Huh. And I wasn't touching it.
Wow. So I just looked up your the incubus thing too. Mm-hmm. So the incubus is a male spirit, a male demon that likes to try to have their way with living females.
Well, see, I think he kept telling me that there'd be times I'd be in the shower, and like on the glass doors there'd be handprints, or one time it even said forever.
Wow.
He kept wanting me to use that Ouija board by myself. He kept telling me there's going to be a day I'll mess up and I'll not properly say goodbye to him, and he can come out and get me.
Yeah. He can come live with you for as long as he wants to. Then.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And right after the Joe stuff happened, me and Brittany Lambert were in the living room, and I was asleep on the love seat, and you could see into the kitchen from the love seat. She was on the couch, and you can't from there. You could just see down the hallway to where the bathroom was.
Right.
And out of nowhere, in front of the fridge, it was like an 8-foot tall, just shadow of a man, no features. And I just froze. I didn't say anything, and I couldn't do anything. And Brittany was like, hey, do you see him? And I was like, yeah, I see him. How the fuck do you see him? She's like, I don't, but I know he's there. And she never remembered saying that to me.
Wow. That's intense.
Yeah. And
that's super intense.